All right, I think we're live. Welcome everybody. My name is Wendy and you are watching Wendy Makes Art. We have a fun show tonight. It is the week of Christmas, and so my daughter actually recommended that we draw a reindeer. And I thought, oh, that's so fun. So I went and looked online, looked at a ton of reindeer footage, reindeer photos, started sketching in my sketchbook. Now that I've done this, I have a better idea. And I also want to work in a limited palette tonight, an unusual palette. So we're going to start by laying out the palette, swatching the colors. You'll kind of see what I'm thinking. I'm going to talk you through everything that we're going to do with composing onto watercolor paper this evening. Here's our block, and we'll go over all the supplies in a minute. And feel free to draw along. You can pretty much find any kind of reference. There are a couple, and Pogo is here. Of course, I have water up here, so she's like a magnet to the water. I'll probably have to go get refills. I use a couple things. There's a place online called Pixabay for it's almost like open source use of images. The other one you can use is Morgue Photo. Now in both of those, be really careful to not, they kind of trick you because they merge in stock photos and images. So they're really good. I watched a BBC program on reindeer to help me really understand how they moved, and that was really good. So I've looked at a lot of different reindeer. I now have a really good feel for their structure and how to draw them, and I'm going to wing it. I may have to go back and reference some photos, but I'll tell you what I'm thinking. So with that, you're going to need something to draw with. If you have a sketchbook, just pull your sketchbook out. Pull up any photos or do a quick Google search on reindeer and you'll get some inspiration for what you want to do. I'm just going to do an illustration and paint it tonight. I went downstairs and pulled a palette, and this is something I had picked up a while ago to travel with. I hadn't used it, and I thought, oh, I love having these little plastic, inexpensive palettes for limited palettes where I'm working on something and I may come back and visit it for a few times or a couple weeks. So this is very helpful. So we're just going to open this up. You can use both the palette and the lid. This one I got at our local art store, and it says Jane E. Jones. It's made out of plastic, and check it out. I love this too, where you've got the big wells. That's really nice for mixing lots of paint and putting them in the wells. Now they will bleed because there's a little denty area in here. Don't you knock that over. Don't you do it. Oh, you little naughty girl. She's trying to knock this water over. I'm holding it and she's using her paw. I'll kind of show you what she's up to. You want to show the peeps what you're doing? Here, I'll kind of show them. So I'm going to take the lid and I'm just going to use this piece tonight. And I've got to get the kitten off of here so that she doesn't get into the paint when I pull it out. So, Pokes, I think it's time. Yep, come on. So we have our handy dandy water sprayer, which she doesn't like, and she took off. So that worked just fine. Okay. I am using 5 My Merry Blue watercolors. The numbers of them are, and I'll give them to you one at a time. This is number 161, and it's a raw sienna. This is probably my all-time favorite. Have not found any kind of a match to this color anywhere. And I have really tried. I've mixed Daniel Smith colors to try to get something close, but I really love this particular raw sienna. So we're gonna put a little bit of that in there, right in here. Okay, our next earthy color, I'm gonna get you, is Let me pull this up here so you can see it. It's number 270 and it's called Dragon's Blood. And I'm using this tonight instead of a burnt sienna. I kind of wanted to mix things up. So my go-to would be burnt sienna and ultramarine blue. Instead, I used Dragon's Blood, and we're going to use Berlin Blue, which is number 359. Put that in here. All right. I love a turquoise. This is number 431, and it is called Phthalo Turquoise. And then I'm going to swatch these out so you can see what they all look like. So, ooh, I made a big mess. I wanted to put that in the puddle beside this one, but it didn't happen. So now I need a decent brush to get all that extra paint off of the lid. Sorry, everybody. I almost had time to pull these and swatch them before I started, but I just ran out. I was messing around. Okay. And this one is number 186, and it is quinacridone magenta or magenta quinacridone. So 186. We're going to put this puppy way over here. And since I have so much of this, this beautiful turquoise on here, I'm just going to put a little swatch first. And I pulled a mini block just to test. I've been thinking I love arches, and I'm mounting large panels, and I can't get arches in 300 pound to mount on panels. I can get it in 140 in a roll because I need it to be 31 inches wide by yards. So New York Central Art Supply makes a 300 pound roll that is 10 yards, 30 feet long. And so I thought I'd pull this out and swatch on it. I've painted on it. I don't have any complaints. I like it. It's just that arches is so forgiving. It holds up really, really well. I really love all materials, so I can't say too much about any one material. All right, so you guys know what this is again. 431, and it's phthalo, turquoise. Okay, so let's go in here, and I want to not have dirty contaminated water. I also need a paper towel. And we're going to do my favorite. You're going to see it here. This is 161 raw sienna. Okay. These look a little darker on camera than they do in real life. And Lebowski, I see your notes. Can I hear the chat alert? I don't know. I haven't heard it. Do you want to chat me again and I'll see if I hear it? Because I don't think I've heard it. I have not changed anything, so it shouldn't have turned it off. I don't think it's alerting me. I don't think I changed anything. So 161, yes, I see you. That's nasty. You're bad. You're bad, Lebowski. Okay, 186. It's magenta quinacridone. And then let's throw on here this Berlin, or the, that's funny, I wrote Berlin brown, it's Berlin blue. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? And then it'll get really nice and dark as well. And I haven't been putting these in my sketchbook, and I should. Like that needs to be thinned out so I can see that it's a turquoise. Of course, I have turquoise everywhere over here. And then the last one is Dragon's Blood, and this was my substitute for burnt sienna. And you can't see it being swatched. Look at that. So very beautiful, very rich. A lot like burnt sienna, and Berlin blue is a little bit like ultramarine, but not quite. It's like richer and warmer. So that's $3.59 Berlin blue, and then this one is $2.70 Dragon's Blood. And then I can even do a little bit of, well, I kind of missed the boat up here. I should have put like some color like that. And down here, like I can try to see how they go together. Even like wetting an area. And then we'll get some of the blue. Kind of, it'll make it almost black. Swatching alone is like an entire fun episode. I could just sit here and swatch. Magenta. Oops, I added some blue in that accidentally, but you get beautiful purples as you can see. Let me add some so you can see it outside. And then let it kind of crawl in there. And then I'm going to grab some of this raw sienna. Lebowski has lots to say about the raw sienna, and it's going to give me some gorgeous greens and earthy colors. It'll mix with that blue. Watch, I'll show you on this sheet over here. Give me some really nice earthy greens in here. And then, of course, the turquoise with that magenta will make a really dark black. And it's just beautiful no matter what. The turquoise, let's stick some of this on here. And then let's see what happens when we mix that brown in with it. That Dragon's Blood, look at that. Just beautiful, earthy, dark browns. Almost like a sepia it'll make, or Van Dyke brown. So gorgeous colors. And then of course you can mix some of this stuff in there. So see what you can do with that. All those earthy colors. Okay, this is our palette. It's a limited palette, only 5 colors. I could have probably gotten away with, I don't know, I really just didn't want to give up any of them. Maybe I could have gotten away with the phthalo turquoise, but ooh, I wanted that for those winter trees. So let's talk about what we're gonna do. And I'll do another little sketch in here because I'm not quite done planning this out. So first I thought I would just do one reindeer, and I kind of wanted him looking on, stepping forward. But he seemed a little timid, and then I thought, well, what if I had one here to the side? But then when I did 2, I love 3s of things. I don't know if you guys like things in 3s. Lebowski, you're gonna get, yes, you're naughty. You're gonna get kicked off. So what I was thinking was, I have 2 options. One is to do a horizontal piece but I usually like a vertical. So I'm going to do a little tiny sketch on my sketch page so you guys can see it. And here's my watercolor block, approximately. And I know I want a high skyline because I want these far off little trees back in the back. I think that'll be beautiful. And then I found an image, there was a little yellow in the field and then little tiny black streaks for plants, okay? And then we want our reindeer. And I like, what I want to do is have one coming in with his head down. And he's eating, because that's what reindeer do. So I need one eating. In here. And I think I'll have him over here. And then I'll have the middle guy, this guy in the middle, kind of looking at us. So his backs, they're not very tall. And I've got to decide if I want, I probably don't, like maybe the yellow part of the field is in here. And then this guy looking up. So I think it's going to be like this. Like we've got this guy. This guy. And then this one. And do I want him kind of, I like him kind of crossing the space here. It's kind of nice, him crossing this space and maybe even coming forward out of this space. So I like that composition a lot with those three reindeer. So we've got a little teeny tiny drawing we're going to work with. And now we're just going to draw. We're going to let these, the watercolors are fine. I'm just going to set them to the side with our palette. So I'll set these up here and let me show you what we're working on. I have a new block and it is Fabriano Artistico enhanced with surface resistance. We're going to try this out. I haven't used an enhanced block yet with this. It's 100% cotton cold press. And I'm working on a 10 by 14 sheet. Now that is an unusual size. Usually you want like a 9 by 12 would be fabulous. So in order to do that, there is a simple solution. I know this is 14, so I can cut an inch off of each side. And it's 10, so I only can cut half an inch off the top and bottom. So here's an easy trick. This is 1-inch tape, artist tape. I'm going to come in here and go ahead and just go right to this edge. And I'm going to tape an inch off. And then I'm just going to go ahead and go around to the back of the block. I use so much water, I tend to peel blocks up. And so in order to not do that, we're going to tape around the edges. And it doesn't hurt the block at all. You can still get it right off the block and then get your sheet off. So double check, 10 by 14. Now I'm going to measure in between just to a little bigger than 12, but that's okay. We want it a little bigger in case I want to trim. Now, there's two ways I can do this. The easiest way is to go ahead and just put a mark and measure in 1/2 inch. So, oh, this thing is not easy. I don't know if I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Just doesn't look right. 4. No, I could have put my thing in here and drug it all the way across to get a straight line, but I'm not that worried about it. You guys did not even see what I did there. I put 2 little tiny dots. Do you really need the teacher's attention, Lebowski? I don't think you need the teacher's attention. Are you competing with Pogo? Because she's very good at getting the teacher's attention. All right. And I'm going to go down the side of the block. This one has, I think, 24 sheets in it. So it's a little thicker than I normally have in a block. Yeah, it's 24 sheets. How awesome is that? Bonus. And then I'm just going to tear this off and fold it back. Same on this side. We're just going to come in here. I'll do it so that you can see it this time. I'm going to mark a little line where it comes up 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. I will check and make sure, and that has 9 inches clearance. And then once again, just going to take my tape, tear a piece off. Bring it across. So I hope everybody who ends up having time off, this paper is a little dented, by the way. It probably had something sitting on it in storage at the shop. Hopefully the next pages won't be so dented, but we're just going to use it anyway. You can't even see it on there, and then I got it dirty on this side, so I'm trying to keep the dirtiness a little bit down. Okay. Like I said, with this little square of mine is pretty slick. So if I want to come in here and say, all right, I want my skyline to be maybe right at 1/3. I can put my pencil in the hole and I can come in and drag a line across, and that will give me a straight line, which is that's really helpful. And then I'll have little trees up above that. So there's my tree line. And then you guys are all seeing on live TV my daughter sneaking up on the cat. Allie, you want to say hi to everybody?
Hi, everybody.
All right. Hilarious. I'm going to lighten this a little bit. I have no idea what I did with my rubber, or my little rubber eraser that I like to lighten lines with. So I'm just having to come in here with a regular eraser and lighten this. And I'm also going to mark those pencil marks off because they're going to drive me crazy. Okay. So like I said, I've got 3 reindeer. I'm going to make sure I size them decently. We've got him over in here, and we've got this guy with his head down. And I want to make sure that it is hitting, this is 12 inches, so 4 inches in and 3 inches up, about. So right about here and here is going to be that beautiful point where I want this guy to have his head where he's looking down and eating, which means their feet Well, this guy's going to be a little bit forward. Okay. So I've got one guy in here. Neck's going to come up. And then his back. And I don't know if I like that or if he's sized right. So we'll work on that. This guy, the other thing I want to do is I kind of feel like their backs need to be here and the tree line needs to be higher. But there will be some things in here. So I'm not even sure about that line. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of put blobs in to start to position them. Yeah, I think he's gonna be in a different spot. We'll see. And then this guy, nope, his head and ears need to come over a bit. So he's gonna be more like this. Now, you guys know I tend to draw very heavy. Let me get my thing up in here. You know what? If I put the camera like this, I can bring it a little closer to me. That helps. Okay. Okay. Their muzzles, having watched them enough video footage of them, oh my gosh, they're the cutest things. They've got these really soft looking muzzles, and then they got these little tufts of fur under their neck in here, which is really nice. This piece of their back comes above their head, and it kind of comes in the bone structures where you'll come in and then be able to form their legs. Now I want him to have his leg forward, so I want him coming forward towards me, and then this leg would be foreshortened, so we don't see it necessarily except for where it's back behind him. And then in here we'll see some of this side of him. And his little head, and I'm bringing some of his antlers in so I get a feel for where that guy is. Now this one, his back is going to be a little higher maybe. And his head, I want to cross over into here. So I think I want his head to be right here. He's kind of looking up. I'm just drawing from my drawing, guys. So at some point I'll probably need to reference the animals and double check. But for right now, I have enough information. Like I know around their eye, I've got these beautiful, pretty eyes. And then a space under it. This area back here kind of comes up and then into the ear. Now his ear may be a little turned. He's got the stripe above his eye and then a stripe coming all the way to his antlers, whatever shape those end up being. They might be way back here. And then somewhat, there's another one this way. This ear will be turned, and a pretty thick muzzle, and the nose comes down and there's like these fabulous denties. It's a deer nose that come in, and then like soft jolly area, and sometimes there's a little white on the muzzle, sometimes it's dark, And then they've got that bottom lip that's all soft and velvety. Long face coming in here. So I really want to try to make sure I don't have one deer's head bigger than the other. It's my big concern right now, is to make sure that they're sized about right. And everybody is always, poor Pogo man, all she wants is in my stuff. She gets such a bad rap. I'm going to move this. I don't think he'd have one ear forward and then one ear back like that. Might be out more like that. We'll see what we do with it. And then this guy, his cheek, his eye, he's eating, so his muzzle's gonna be down. Those cute little nostrils coming in here. And then the bottom of his face. And of course, this is kind of long right in here. Then it will come up around. There's this area that's dark in here, probably around his muzzle, real dark. Long cheek up in here, and then the ear fits back in here. So the ear kind of, these chunky little ears put this way, and this goes up into his kind of turn him a little bit. So his neck will be up in here, and then his back and up probably about there. And I'll bring his feet down here. So he'll be like that. I think this part with where these parts are. And I may have to turn his head a little bit. That's okay. You guys are watching my pencil marks get darker and darker and darker. I'm not sure. I think their antlers are all different. They all grow different. Some of them are wacky, some of them not so much. Love his little face. And then this line, these marks come around. So this is dark coming up in his face right here. Just so you all know, this is gonna be real dark. And I'm just gonna sketch in here so you know what we're doing. Is everybody ready for Christmas? So I'm gonna come in here, and there are some things like that, and then his eye is going to be in here, and that, and then this comes out to the ear, so I want his other ear, and then his back is going to be that fluffy head coming out here, and all this fluff out here. and then this, and then his back, which is behind his buddy on this side. This guy, we may see part of where this was, but maybe not really. And part of that muzzle comes down. Maybe open his mouth a little bit because he's munching. They eat like, I don't know. It's like moss. It's a moss. It's some kind of moss that grows where they are. If you can believe that. He's got this great lower lip. Their heads are almost goat-like in a way. His head looks a little small, like too small. Let's see if I can fix that. It's gonna be all the way up there. That's better. I think that it just needs some stuff like that, and then those antlers, whatever we end up doing with the antlers. And his head will come down here, and then like in my drawing, let's see, I kind of got this in here. His nose is not quite right, but we can come back and fix that. I just have to reference the animals. This pose does not exist anywhere, so I'm making it up as I go. And guys, this is not easy to do. And I wanted this leg to come forward because I thought that was kind of fun. So he's got a little bit of a, there's where his body comes through. Here's where his knobby knee comes in, and then that leg is really skinny and before his big foot. And they've got these fabulous feet with these things on them, like fuzzy furs kind of on them, which I like a lot. Now this guy would have a little bit of that stuff on his neck. It's me over here. See his feet down here. Feet, foot, knee, leg, up. Bring this up. It's got quite a bit of neck going on in here. But his belly, like in this guy, now his has got to be back a little bit, so because he's reaching forward, so I think I need this to be more like this and then down. Yeah, just change it a little bit. Shaky camera, sorry everybody. I think they're adorable. What do you think? This hour is going to go by really fast. All right, looks like he's got a little more of a Like I probably brought this up a little too high. So we're gonna make him squattier. And then bring this in here. And then that back leg, which I kind of want like that. And I want this one to come in here. I'll deal with feet and detailing those out once we get the general body shape in. Sadly, we can't see any of their cute little tails. I like the movement and I like the composition of them. His feet aren't quite right over here yet. And we're still working out this guy. Which he can, you know, like if we don't see everything straight on, that's fine. And him too, he's kind of coming towards us. Skinny little feet, big hoof. One's way back there. This one would also be forward. Back in here. And then we'd probably see some of that other one back there, like that. And maybe that's like that. So if I get rid of these marks in here, kind of show that. All right. And I remember in them, like these hips were more, I think my back leg is placed a little wonky right here. I don't think it would be out here like that. I'm gonna have to look at them a little better to check their hips and get the back end of that reindeer a little better on that one. All right. But we've got 3 reindeer. Let's clean this up in here. And this in here. And this in here. And this guy needs some work. So let's see. I need to take a peek. Merry Christmas, everybody. Lebowski, you were just chattering up a storm all by your lonesome over there, aren't you? You just lots to say going on. All right. So this guy, trying to think about his, oh, that mouth I really went to town with. There's almost like a little dent in there. So it's a little looser than that. And then here, wherever that is, the ears come up higher, right in here. So they're not back here, they're more like in here. And Pogo seems to have forgotten that she should not be in here. And long legs, beard here. all down in here. So the head will come up like in here. And then the neck, the jaw comes up, and the neck actually is more kind of like, I want to almost feel like it's a horse's neck in a way. And then this will be up, way up, and then over. When he's leaning down. And at some point above the ears is where this leg is going to be over here. So when the head's down, the leg joint actually comes in and then down, and then knobby knee hits right about the base of the ear, right here with the knobby knee. On this leg. And then right about the chin is where the big old hoofy foot comes in. And they are actually hooves, so you do see like a split in the back one to the front one. And then the backs of their legs are not as knobby, and they come up higher. So this will actually come up higher for him than what I originally drew. So it comes in there. And then when it comes down to that foot, so guys, I'm referencing something that isn't quite the same angle, and it's in the opposite direction. So if you hear me talk this through, it's because it's the only way I can kind of think through it. And then this body part still. So once it's up here, he's got a joint in here, and then that comes up and hits that back part right here. So I have him all kinds of goofy. Still don't think he's quite right, but I'll figure it out. See, I think it would come up in here, and then he'd have his other one over in here. And I think this isn't right here. And I also think he'd have some beard hanging down under there, so we wouldn't quite see all that. And then the back of his neck coming up, probably in here. And I want this side turned a little more, so I think my guy's legs are going to be a little more belly to him too. So kind of like that. Now he's coming off the page, but I think we're okay with that. And then his back legs come down and would be back here, like his back hips. So I'm gonna dent this in here, right there. That seems a little more right. And then of course he needs some antlers. So I gotta figure out these antlers. Oh look, he's gonna hit his buddy with his antlers. They're gonna be back a little bit. Maybe we'll have tines coming out that way and then up. And then up like that maybe. And then maybe out to the side and back. And I like his ears kind of back. That's nice. I drew them like zebras. So that's his other leg. And it's going to be back in there. And then this one is going to be here, but up. Boy, they get skinny. Their little legs. And then they're knobby. Kind of knobby right in here and then up. So, it's part of my guy is not skinny or knobby enough in here. Then that, and then he's got like a knob here and kind of like that, but when it comes back to the base, kind of comes in. Messy, messy, messy. How are you guys doing? We have gotten absolutely zero watercolor done. Still on drawing. But you at least have an idea of what I'm up to. I want to splash stuff on here for you so bad, but I'm not going to because I don't want to ruin it. I like the illustration and I think it's a lot of fun. It might make a great card next year for Christmas. Like a holiday card. There's a lot I could do with it. I just have to resolve it. And I do like where this line is back here. That kind of doesn't bother me as far as like a tree line. If that, I'm just gonna give myself like an idea of where this stuff is, so that that's there. And then there'll be like a yellow grassy floaty area in here, and then little things in the snow. So it will be snowy. Definitely want to make it snowy. And oh, his neck, like I'm looking at my drawing and I'm going, oh, it really failed there. His neck is skinnier. It's just skinnier. So we're going to do that and that. That helped a lot. Clean up, some cleanup. And low back to, look how dirty I am, guys. So crazy dirty. Now, if I'm smart, what I'll do is once I get this illustrated, I'll make a drawing on another piece of paper. I'll put over it, and then I can make this again in case I really wreck this with the watercolors because my pencil is so dark. But as you guys can see, I'm messy. So like, there's our illustration where we started, and then my little one with the 3. Here's where we are now. Kind of give you an idea of where we are. I need to touch up a little bit of the drawing work. And Lebowski, thanks for the kudos. But yeah, you were the only one doing the wave. Welcome whoever jumped in. Thanks for stopping in. I'll just kind of give you a little recap on what's going on here, since you're probably wondering what is going on here. It's Christmas time, so I thought it would be fun to draw and paint some reindeer. Oh, and I have his eyeballs just a little too low. So we're going to do a little bit of cleanup. I'm referencing my photos now. So I studied reindeer, did sketches in my sketchbook, which are here, and then started put it together in watercolor. I wanted to do a limited fun color palette with watercolors, and so that's what we're working on tonight. And as usual with a 1-hour show, I got as far as the drawing part. So before I came on tonight, I was hoping I had sketched before the show, so I wasn't starting from scratch. And really was hoping to get this part all drawn out, but that didn't happen. So I'm going to come in here and give him a white muzzle, just with the cleanup on his mouth. He has the cutest face. And then this guy, his ear's a little low, so I'm just gonna bring it up a little bit on him. And I think this eyeball should be more like that. And then typically they've got, it's almost like a dark pattern ridge over here, and then a stripe, and it kind of leads up to their antlers, which come then in between their ears. So I'm going to give him an antler here. Play with his fur a little bit. He's so cute. Oh my goodness, he's just adorable. He's adorbs. I think this part of his leg needs to be a little straighter coming out. And then really narrow in the front. think he's got a cute face. Oh, he's so adorable. Who knew reindeer were just so cute? They really are adorable. So I'm gonna try to mirror these, whatever I end up doing with their antlers, so that they've got, they're not perfect in real life, but this comes up and off here. And I'm gonna give them an antler here and remove this one. So I kind of like things going off the page. So it's nice to take this all the way up like that and completely take it off the page. So there's that. And then we're going to bring this one and mirror it. So it's going to come out this way and over. And what I'm trying to do is look at the negative shape and do opposite. So if you're watching, oof, do I have another piece? Just ran out of lead. Luckily, I've got more. Now we are at 8 o'clock, so I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna stop the insanity. But I hope that you were inspired. I hope that you make your own reindeer artwork and put a limited palette together. Again, this is the set of colors that I plan to paint this, and come back on Art Tip Tuesday next week. I'll show you how it looks. So if you have discovered this anew and have not been here before, hit that follow or subscribe. I am on YouTube and Twitch. On Twitch, it's Wendy Makes Art, and on YouTube, it's Wendy Alm, AHLM, Fine Art. So definitely, I hope you like the video, subscribe, do all the things, ring the bell, whatever that means. I don't know what that means yet. But thanks so much for stopping in. I hope that you have a wonderful holiday season, an awesome weekend with family and friends, and just doing everything that you love. I will be back on Friday night working on Friday Night Dinos, and I hope to see you soon.